everyone. Welcome to Two Moons and a Microphone, a Sci-Fi Sisters Inc. production. My name is Tanya Scott Thomas. I love fantasy, but I keep it real. Season 2 of Two Moons and a Microphone is sponsored by House Bar. House Bar is the bottle shop remix for adventurous drinkers, foodies, and home entertainers. House Bar is here to help people gather well, live fully, and celebrate intentionally. Visit House Bar Navy Yard and House Bar Georgetown here in Washington, D.C. So, hello, everyone. Welcome, Tribe. Hello to everyone in the chat. I am very excited to welcome to the show tonight Charlie Capen, founder of Momentus. Hello, Charlie.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to Two Moons and a Microphone.
I feel very at home here with both the two moons and the microphone. Thank you.
Awesome. Yes. So thank you so much for coming. Charlie, I would like you to first kind of tell us about Momentus, and then we can talk about how you guys formed this partnership with Warp Graphics, our favorite producers of our favorite comic, Elfquest.
The best. Well, so Momentus is short for Your Moment with Us. We provide fan experiences with celebrities and actors and notable figures and New York Times bestsellers. We felt like we wanted to sort of democratize how people interact. Some people can't travel to a convention. It's too expensive, or they're immunocompromised and they can't get out and be in large groups of people that are really sweaty, like in Comic-Con at this very moment. And we wanted to bring notable, famous favorites to people's homes. So we do experiences and classes and all sorts of shenanigans. And then we also provide meet and greets as well, where people can get to talk directly with those people. And we've done over 80 events, sold thousands of tickets, and they've all been the best. We have a great time, and it's easy and fun, and it's authentic because you get to do an activity with somebody and you get to meet and chat with them. And we just have a lot of fun.
Oh, I love that. I think that's so important to bring that fan experience to people who can't get to cons. I mean, cons are a lot. I mean, they can be very overstimulating, and they're expensive, and there's travel. There's so many things involved. And some people just don't do well in crowds. So it just provides this unique opportunity to connect with creators, and it's sort of intimate, and you can really get a lot out of it. So thank you for starting this, because it's just such a great thing for all fans.
It's interesting because I feel like coming out of, a pandemic moment and into the moment that we're in now, there was a lot of fatigue around being separated. But what we realized was the power and validity of being able to connect virtually. And if we start treating the virtual space not like the real life space, we can do a lot more creatively, actually. Like the long lines to queue up and see somebody and get their autograph or get a photo with them is really taxing. And so to be able to bring people, your favorite Star Wars actor into your home, and you get to we did a really fun cookies and hyperspace cookies and cocktails with Katie Sackhoff from The Mandalorian and Battlestar Galactica. We just made cookies and we made cocktails and we had fun, and people came in and we did meet and greets and stuff. And it was just a fun time just to sort of take a break from the holiday madness. So yeah, we've had some fun.
Was that the clip where you were holding a gigantic punch bowl cocktail?
That was with my friend Amy Bruni, who's a ghost hunter. She was on Kindred Spirits and Ghost Hunters. That one, she had written a cookbook from haunted spaces, using recipes from haunted spaces and famous haunted spaces. And one of the recipes was a cocktail. I didn't have all the necessary equipment where I was, so I decided a punch bowl was the appropriate size to make a cocktail.
That is so fun. Oh, I love that. So how did you start this partnership with Wendy and Richard Pini? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, first of all, I have to give credit where credit's due. The partnership came through shopstands.com. Stands provides such high quality merch and accessories and clothing for people who love, every fandom you can think of. Michelle, who runs that company, has created it for them, and she takes great care. I will out her for a moment. She is one of the biggest and most knowledgeable fans of ElfQuest I've ever met. And her partnership, she and I had been talking, and she said, you know, I'd really like to bring Wendy and Richard to more people in a virtual space who can't go to the appearances that they do. Is there something that we can sort of create where, you know, we can show off their expertise, their experience, their genius in ways that maybe fans would love? And she had been talking to them about doing some campaigns. And also she, you know, carries the books from Dark Horse and a number of other, you know, offerings. And I said, absolutely, they're legends as far as I'm concerned. And the more I learned about them, you know, the documentaries about them, the more I realized the gift that they have to offer by doing these events. And we've done 2 so far. We have 2 more coming up, and I could not be more excited. I just enjoy the heck out of them. They're just so fun and they're so brilliant. And I would do them for the rest of my life if I could.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, the demand was so there because they were doing those Streamily events, and they were doing the signings, which was another great way for fans who couldn't travel or get to a con to get an autographed art piece. And here's the info on the 2 upcoming classes. The next class is coming up very soon.
Yes.
August 16th.
That's right. It's gonna be fantastic. It is a live demonstration. She's gonna bring ElfQuest to life with this drawing demonstration, and you can find out the inspiration that drove her creativity. And I think it's, I mean, watching artists do their art is something that I love to do because I'm not a fine artist and I can barely hold a pencil or a pen.
Same.
But watching Wendy and we just did an event where we went into her studio and saw costuming that she had made, and I'm telling you, like, being able to be exposed to that kind of creativity is a really powerful motivator and inspiration for everybody else.
Oh, absolutely. And people can see the first 2 classes on your website.
Yeah, you can go to YouTube. Actually, we have a YouTube channel.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, it's youtube.com/B Momentus, Momentus. And you can go watch everything there. We want to give people access to those events because really where the magic happens is coming and joining us. And so yeah, you can go ahead and watch those. The other event we did, by the way, was, I think, the entry point. We talked about breaking down stereotypes in fantasy and sci-fi, and it was, again, that's where I learned how much smarter they are than I am, and then also how much I have to learn. So it was a really beautiful moment.
Yeah, I loved that first class with the breaking down of stereotypes because that's sort of what drew me into ElfQuest in the first place. Just seeing such diverse characters, just being like, not trying to kind of teach a lesson in like a spoon-fed kind of way, but just to present all of these different characters with different skin tones, different cultures, and just have them existing. And that was my entry point with ElfQuest, and I think that was just a great way to kick off the whole series. Did you foresee it being multiple events from the beginning, or did that kind of evolve as you worked with them?
I mean, the wealth of knowledge and resources that they have to bring to something like this kind of format, I mean, there's endless possibilities. I think when we initially met, it was like, we know we can do something. We know we can do many things. And Richard, in his way, as he does, like, has a litany of like how many different ways it can happen. He's so fast. I mean, he just had a birthday, and I'm not as spry as he is, I think, intellectually or otherwise. Like, he really so brilliant.
Is.
He really is.
It's just amazing the way his mind is so sharp, and he's so funny, and he adapts to all of these, like, over the course of these almost 50 years of ElfQuest, he's adapted to the new technologies, and it's just incredible. It must be so fun to work with him.
They're such trailblazers. So I think initially when we met, we said, there's a million things we could do. What should we do? Where should we start? And we said, let's do an event where we show off the fact that ElfQuest has a legacy of not just taking on things in a way that broadens people's minds and perspectives, but really honors the love letter and admiration that Wendy has to so many different cultures, and sort of seeing it and witnessing it, and then also the trailblazing that they did do in the industry. So it felt like a great place to start in showing what a vanguard they are for the publishing industry, and also, you know, this genre, because we all grew up with the same colored elves. We all grew up with this, like, it's this sort of recycling, and then suddenly to break that mold and break it out and then own, you know, it for themselves was a really big deal. So that was really cool. And then I think from there, I think we all didn't want it to end so badly that we were like, all right, we're gonna do 3 now. Let's go. Yeah.
I can see that Draco Dawn Stars is in the chat. She was the bread elf for that first class. So
Yeah.
hi, Natalie. Natalie was also my first guest on Two Moons and a Microphone, my very first guest. So
she was great.
Also doing the bread elf. So absolutely love Natalie, and her support has been tremendous. So always a big shout out to Draco Dawn Stars. And I will say hi to sisters Tamia and Sabrina Wood. The Sci-Fi sisters are in the chat. So love them. Those are my big sisses, and I love them. So just saying that. And yeah, back to the series, the tour of Wendy's workshop.
Yeah.
Was so incredible. I mean, I did see some of those costumes at CradleCon last year in person, and David had talked about this workshop that Wendy had in her house. And I was so shocked that you guys were actually showing that and taking the cameras in there. So people out there, sign up for these next 2 classes, because it is a unique opportunity, and it's, as Charlie said, the entry point is very low, so it's not too expensive, and it's a priceless experience. So definitely check it out.
The other thing I wanted to add about that, so the class 3, you know, we're going to be talking about storytelling and how they craft compelling stories. But the other compelling side to these events, all Momentus events, and all the work that we do also with stands, they do, is there's a charitable component. There's an aspect that not only are you paying for an experience that you can't get somewhere else that's exclusive, but you're also helping to support, you know, a cause that's important to the people who are participating with either stands or Momentus or both. So just it's another way to feel good and then have a good time. So
absolutely. I love fun and philanthropy. I was a fundraiser for many, many years, and I love that you have that component of Momentus, to have those 2 things together, to have fun and to also help great causes. So what inspired you to have that combination of the 2 things together?
Yeah. So my background, you know, I worked in the entertainment industry for a long time. I worked at Fox and Netflix. I acted, I directed, I did all these things. I love storytelling, and I love technology and what it can do to help tell stories. But you know, about 8 years ago, a gentleman named Misha Collins, who's on a show called Supernatural, you might have heard of it, or maybe binged it for the 5th time over the pandemic. Misha Collins and I had a little chat because I'd known him for a while, and he said, I have this company that I'd really like for you to come work at, and it's called Gish, and it was originally called Gishwez, and it stands for Greatest International Scavenger Hunt. And so he plucked me from sort of the storytelling side of things, just the pure entertainment side, to try to apply that to doing good in the world. So the Greatest International Scavenger Hunt holds like 13 Guinness records. It's raised millions of dollars for charity. It's done thousands upon, like, probably hundreds of thousands, I would say, community service. It was basically a scavenger hunt in 110 countries where we gamified doing good in the world. And whether you were a competitive, you know, gamer who wanted to win the grand prize, which was a trip somewhere around the world, or you just wanted to do some good and have some fun, you could come in and play at the same sort of level. So yeah, we raised money all over the world each year. And that was the moment when I realized that the philanthropic or sort of social good side couldn't be divorced from the desire to provide fun and education and experience. I think they have to sort of, especially now more than ever, have to sort of be woven together in a way that people can access. Because again, if you want to just come have fun, great, you're gonna have fun, and then you are unconsciously doing some good for somebody somewhere around the world. You know, we have with the Pinis, we direct funds toward wolf conservation.
Mhm.
The New York Wolf Conservation is amazing. There's a few others that they support. So it feels good. And so, you know, spending, you know, 15, 25 bucks for a ticket, you feel good that you're also sending some love to someone or somewhere that needs it.
Yes, creative chaos for good. I love
Yes.
it. Yes. And it doesn't always have to be, you know, just like the billionaires' whims to make a real impact in your community. I love that, you know, it's evolving teams and fans, people who are inclusive already, who just, you know, want to have a good time, and they want to put that positivity out in the world. And this is like a great vehicle for that, to just kill two birds with one stone and just like win-win. So I love that.
Yep.
Okay. So, what is your ElfQuest story? I usually ask that at the beginning, but I'm gonna get into it now.
Well, for me, it's been a rediscovery. One that has a major gap in between. So I remember being 12 and getting my hands on ElfQuest comics for the first time. And I think there was an older child in my life or something, because it definitely felt like I was not ready or allowed. Like it was a little more mature than I had been used to. I'd been reading some comics and some, you know, DC and Marvel stuff. And then someone around me had access to this. And I remember seeing it and thinking, A, this is unlike anything I read before. And B, there was something, I don't know, like the illustrations were just more grown up, and there was something behind it that I couldn't yet articulate. I was thinking I was like 12, 13, you know, just starting puberty, starting to like be aware of, you know, girls and, you know, the sort of things that were going on. And I just felt like it was this perfect marriage of all the things that I love. I grew up, you know, Ursula Le Guin, Lord of the Rings, all these things that I loved, high fantasy and culture that way. But to see sort of an exotic, but also really grounded and rooted into sort of cultural history for each of the tribes and how they dealt with opposition and sort of this force of trying to wipe them out, it really made an impact that as soon as I started looking at it again, I was like, oh my God, an entire flood of feelings and memories and sort of awakenings that came back. And I was like, oh, I feel like, and I think this is an overshare, but I feel like I even said to Wendy and Richard, I was like, oh, so you guys helped out with like the sexual awakening stuff in puberty. Great. Got it. Okay. And then they laughed, of course.
I don't think you're alone in that, though.
Okay. I'm just, okay.
That is very common amongst
right?
fans.
Yeah, okay.
Because it is. It's hot, like in a
it's very sensual. It's like a sensual
PG-13 kind of way. It is very sensual, and they show a lot of different expressions of love, which is something I think probably teenagers need a little bit more of, you know, tenderness, I think. And it's not all about like scoring and blah blah blah, which is what a lot of the content that was put out to teenagers when I was a teenager, it was all like 16 Candles and The Breakfast Club, and like we're growing up, like we're supposed to assume that's like the way to be, like everything is a conquest or something. And I'm glad that I had ElfQuest to kind of balance out all of those kind of stereotypical, like misogynistic themes, to have, you know, a woman writing the story and getting this like female perspective and worldview. And, you know, the women had agency, and, you know, they had their own minds and they made their own decisions. And it just really appealed to me from then on. And I think I sort of grew up with ElfQuest, and I, you know, was reading it throughout my life, and I'm still reading it now. So it's just one of those unique things in the world. And like meeting Wendy and Richard, and every time I like meet them or watch a show, like watch one of these events, you just learn so much because they are just fonts of knowledge. I mean, it's incredible. Just like in passing, they just drop all this stuff that like they just happen to know, like how they've weaved it into the stories. And it's just amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think, having grown up with comics that were really rooted in the male gaze, and then, I grew up in San Francisco. And so I think for me, it was also, there was a freedom in some of the expression that was going on in the work. And I think vibrant in a lot of different ways, and a lot of the spectra of whether it's coupling or the skin tones, or, the different sort of like their environment informing them, because it's not on Earth. It's and yet there are little pieces that feel like, again, the belly dancing influence sort of moving into some of the dress. There's just, yeah, again, there's a sensual nature to it, but it was also really rooted in some high stakes storytelling that was reminiscent of some of the other greats. So for me, getting back into it again, credit where credit's due, I was like, oh, Elfquest. Oh my God. And then Michelle starts the like, I know Kung Fu level download into my brain of like, and then this, and then this, and then this. And I was like, oh my God, I'm remembering this now. And got me back excited again for it. So grabbed a bunch of the comics, grabbed some anthologies, and now we've got the release of book 1 there and book 2. And it's just been, there's a line, I think, that David Bizajewski was telling me that was like, rediscover Elfquest. And it's true. We are, like you said, you've read it, you're still reading it. It's so rich. You could read it for the rest of your life and still find something.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to get more people to read it by having the show. And it's great. Like, we've sort of said in the title of the show, like this revival of Elfquest, or Elfquest is back. And at first I was like, is it a revival? It was always here for me. Yeah. But then there are people that saw it or used, I knew of it back in the 80s. And, to have it in these new editions out now, it really is a revival. And there's just all of these great events that are coming up, and more books are coming out. And it is a great time to either get into Elfquest or get back into Elfquest. So thank you for helping bring that to the world.
And that's the goal, right? Is that I think between doing something exciting and fun and bringing people who are brilliant to more audiences, we've seen this like increase in ticket sales over time, because I think more people are realizing, these topics are sort of evergreen, like storytelling, illustration. Some of these topics and discussions are, with the two of them, relevant to a wider audience of people who should know all about this. They literally revolutionized the industry, the genre, and are luminaries in that field. And so to be able to tell that story as a current story, not something that was before, but is right now and continuing to expand right now. It's the longest running American manga. Like, this needs to be sung from the mountaintop. So I feel honored to be able to be part of it, honestly.
Do you think that there'll be more events in the future, like next year, maybe?
Like, listen, if this keeps up, there's no reason. They have a real hunger also for being able to talk to more people and get into it. And I think there's so much richness of both, of all of Wendy's work and Richard's work, but I think also the time that we're in right now demands that this kind of expression be spread around a lot. We're facing book bans, we're facing kids who are not understanding certain aspects of life, like the sort of digital sort of isolation, and the again, there's certain cultures growing up right now that we need to be more connected and understand the stakes of being not pulling together your people and not finding strength in community. And I think and understanding each other's differences. These are all things that Elfquest can help with.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that so many people find a place in Elfquest because they felt like they were not accepted wherever they were. They felt kind of othered, and it's an analogy to the story of the elves. They feel out of place, and it just resonates with people in such an impactful way, and in an entertaining way as well. Like you're kind of getting it, in this wonderful, like, sugar-coated package of life lessons with this great story. And I definitely think that, like, more people should know about it and know about how revolutionary Wendy and Richard are and their impact. And I love that they keep getting more and more recognition, because it is so well deserved. And there are a lot of people that get a lot of attention and it's not so well deserved, in my opinion. So I'm just, like, so happy that these things are coming and that they are starting to get recognized for the place and the role that they've had in the world of comics and cosplay. Just so deep and rich. So yes, thank you. So that's so great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So what can we talk about next? So do you have any, like, behind the scenes funny stories about when you first met Wendy and Richard Pini to start this?
First of all, yes. We gelled right away. Richard and I, it's funny, I think Richard's such a solid, in terms of strategy, in terms of thoughtfulness, they're like, Richard's like at the top. Like, I've not met many people. So what I really found great, and I think why we gelled well when we first started talking, was we both knew our stuff. Like, we both know we've been doing this long enough. He's been doing it. He's been doing what he's done longer than I've been doing what I've done. But I've really tried to work hard to understand digital communities, the power of fandom. I am a fan myself, and I've only wanted to create like when I worked at Netflix, I helped launch all the Marvel stuff with the exception of one of them, which I won't name. And what I realized quickly was the best way to usher the message of a creator and an IP and a story is to put it as quickly and as deeply into the hands of people who love it. And, with Daredevil, for example, or Jessica Jones, those two were also opportunities to find more people who maybe weren't Marvel fans. Maybe they wanted a crime noir drama, and they could find their way into this sort of like street level hero thing. So then we started talking really about, like, what is the coded language of these two things. So when Richard and I just start nerding out about, like, all the ways to do things, and also I just love solving problems. I'm like somebody who wants to, like, solve it and fix it, which I'm also working on as a human being, maybe not solving people's problem. It's my toxic trait. But we quickly talked about, like, I've always wanted to do, they wanted to do a studio tour, but they were like, we don't really know how, we don't have the equipment for that. And I was like, nope, we do. We can. We're going to do it, and we'll get it done. And it was perfect. It was great. So, when it came to talking about, Luke Cage, for example, was another great opportunity for me to not center it around myself and my way of thinking, but to solve the challenge of talking about a story about a bulletproof black man in 2020 and 20, what was that? 20
17, 18,
16? Yeah. 16, 17. Cheo, Adari Coker, we went to Harlem and we did all these things. And it was, again, where it was like, hey, I don't know how to do this. How can we make this happen? And I was like, I will do everything I can to make that thing happen. So to have Dapper Dan being interviewed by Cheo, I was like, it's happening. We're going to do this, and we're going to turn this into a whole marketing thing. And it was one of the highlights of my career to be able to be a part of that storytelling. And, Mike Coulter is the best. Like, we had a moment. And so coming to Wendy and Richard for me was like coming home. You feel at ease when you feel expertise, and you, like, there's not a lot of ego there. You're just like, you want to create something. And I think that's the fun, was realizing they care about it deeply, authentically, and I care about supporting that. And then we trusted each other, and then we just went. And so we built out these, like, events together. And I learned so much every time. Yeah. And they're at Comic-Con this weekend, so go see them.
Yes.
Their lines are getting longer and longer. Stay in line. It's worth it. They're amazing people. But they're, brilliant.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, we loved Luke Cage.
Oh.
My husband and I watched it. We loved Daredevil too.
Loved it. Yeah.
So good.
I got to work on the Get Down as well when I was at Netflix.
Oh, yes.
That was another one where I was like, I am in the room with legends. You know, we did the premiere and it was in the Bronx and Nas shows up and I'm just like, I have no business. I am not good enough to be here right now. And then, there's an incredible cast. And
there was an ElfQuest reference in that show too.
There was an ElfQuest reference. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yes. Little shout out there. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Everybody in the chat is very excited about all of this stuff. Yeah. Tell us more about people you've worked with. You did have Will and Ann Wheaton for a Momentus event.
Yep.
For all of our Trekkies out there.
Yep. We
can check that out.
Brilliant. They're both brilliant too. And then my goal with Momentus events is to have every host leave and go, wow, that was really fun. That was like easy. It was fun. It was just, it wasn't hard to do. And I want to do that again. Every time we do it, that's what people walk away with, both the audience and the person. We just have a great time.
Yeah, I watched that one with Will and Ann Wheaton, and they just seemed so relaxed. Like, does everyone seem that relaxed? And I haven't watched all of them, and I've obviously seen Wendy and Richard together, so I know how they, get down. Totally. But yes, to me, it always comes back to Star Trek, and yes, I'm so glad that people are picking up the books, and they can get them from shop stands, and they can get the autograph print with it, and you can bundle it with the Momentus events as well. So it's just such a great opportunity, guys. So yeah, was there anyone that just was like, it just didn't work out? Like people were not chill?
I don't think so. I mean, there's different levels of nervousness. Like some people are like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, just hang out and have fun. That's all we don't need to do anything. Because we often pick activities that the hosts like, or they're experts already in, or we did an event with Vico Ortiz from Our Flag Means Death, and they are a professional sword fighter. Like they did fencing, they taught fencing, so we did a sword fighting class, and everybody bought swords from stands. We did the class. Vico plays Jim, who is the stabby on the show, and like there's no artifice. It's authentic. I think part of the thing too, having been a fan for so long and then been on the other side, in green rooms at conventions and stuff like that, is it can be awkward. It can be awkward because for me, I go up to somebody and I'm like, oh my God, I've seen you for a million years. You have such an intense relationship to the content or the person playing the part that then you don't know how to relate. So giving people an activity to do together takes that down. If we're all,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? We are all doing the same thing together. We're all like Samba Shoot from Our Flag Means Death. We're all baking, a tart, or we're baking, mac and cheese together. And someone's like, my mac and cheese doesn't look right. That creates a connection. The connectivity is a mutual reality and experience. We want these hosts and their fans to relate so that people walk away with a memory. And that's what we're trying to do.
Oh my God. Can you get Adrian Paul from Highlander to do a sword fighting?
Oh my God.
Class, because I will be like the first person there.
I'm ready. That's a great idea.
Because he used to do that, I think, at events. I used to follow him on Facebook. I don't know what happened recently, but love
anybody who has any suggestions too. We're all ears. Like we're about to launch 3 more. We've got, I think, 8 events up right now. And then we've got a bunch more. I was just messaging before we came on with another actor. We're going to try to do some new stuff too. We've done like an animal sanctuary tour. We can like boop all the noses of the animals at the sanctuary and stuff. We just
my gosh,
have a good time.
Oh, that's so fun. I bet David would love that.
Oh, David
especially.
is that. That's who David is. Yeah.
That's absolutely. Key lime pie recipe. Heather, who makes the key lime pie?
That was Samba Shoot. He
Okay.
plays the chef on Our Flag Means Death. It's
Okay.
an HBO Max show about pirates. And again, in terms of expression, in terms of like queerness, in terms of like it's such a radiant love story in so many ways, but also on this backdrop, this like farcical comedy. And so he plays he plays Roach, the chef on the ship, who decides to use all of the oranges on the ship to make like this massive orange dessert monstrosity. And you know, if you use up all the oranges, you're gonna get sick because now you don't have enough vitamin intake. So anyway,
now you'll get scurvy.
Scurvy for sure.
Which would be very bad.
Yeah.
Oh, but I love pie. I am, a pretty decent pie maker, so that would have been fun.
Well, we have it up. You can get the recipe. We have the video.
Check it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds exciting. Oh,
he's my favorite. He's part Dutch and part Mauritanian, and so he's got these like influences in his life. His mother raised him to like cook, and he's just the funniest, sweetest man. And I highly recommend watching his stuff because I will have him on forever too. He's the best.
Oh wow, I have so much to check out on this. Like, you really inspired me. Like, new content to watch. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
To branch out, because it's not all about ElfQuest or Star Trek. Not all the time, but I'm a nerd of many different flags. So
yeah,
it's all good.
Why all the flags?
That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show to talk about these events in this unique series. I hope everybody signs up. The link is in the show description box, and it's also in the chat. You can go to Shop Stands and you can check out. I got my new challenge coin in the mail.
There, look at that.
Ooh, it's so good. It's Skywise and Star Jumper on one side and Cutter and Night Runner on the other side.
They're so substantial. Like
they feel good in your hands. And I have to get a proper display case, but
we've done, we have I think they sell a vegan leather holder for them too.
I have that too. Okay. It's my keychain because I have some extras. I got some duplicates so I can have one in my bag with me all the time and when I'm out, in case there's a challenge, if I get to a con or anything. David and I, we won our challenge together, but I haven't been out too much to cons lately this year, but maybe next year. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's all good. But I will be there for all of these momentous events. So thank you so much for coming on, Charlie. And thank you to everyone in the chat. I just love seeing your names pop up. Thank you for joining us. And if you're watching this on rewatch, please leave me a comment and let me know what you want to talk about or want me to talk about in the next episode. And please ring the bell and hit subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified about all of our fun content on Sci-Fi Sisters Inc. And if you are a brand or an individual and you're interested in sponsoring one of our shows, please do. Our fans love ElfQuest and sci-fi and fantasy and STEAM, and they want to reach out and connect with brands that share their values. So check out the description. The link is in the description box, or you can go to sci-fisisters.com/sponsors. And that is all. Oh, Sin Goes Sci-Fi will be back next Wednesday at 9:30. So check out Sister Sabrina for that. There is no live show on Tuesday. And then we will be on a little break because of the little summer hiatus. The big sisters are going to be at Trek Las Vegas, and I will be on vacation with my family. But we will be back on August 27th with another episode. So we will hope to see you then. And until next time, shade and sweet water. Thank you. Bye, everyone.